If you have a ladder.
Was that time? I just said I could use that extra time today. Sounds like a good.
It's probably nobody's job.
Oh, yeah.
Calling the meeting of the Historic Preservation Committee meeting to order, and everyone is present. Do I need to do a roll call? No. Okay, everyone is present, no absences. And Fernanda Roveri is here from the city to speak, I assume. Yes. And Spencer Argenbright is here as well from the city. Right now is open to consent. No, wait. Oh, we'll open the consent agenda. If any member of the public or a commission would like to discuss a consent item, please do so. Does anyone want to?
Let's also remind the public how to participate.
Yes. Information on participating in this meeting and providing public comment, including remotely by Zoom or telephone, is on this meeting's agenda, which is online at monterey.gov/agendas. Remote commenters will be muted until it is their turn to speak, and a timer will be shown on the screen. If you are connected on Zoom, the timer is accurate with no delay. In the chamber, we recommend keeping phones and devices muted to prevent audio interference with the meeting. Thank you for participating in your city government.
Thank you. And the first item and only item on the consent agenda is approval of the minutes. Are there any comments on the minutes or any corrections needed?
Good. I'll move that we.
Sorry, we
Sorry.
need to check if there's any member
Oh.
of the public.
Yes, there are no attendees online with their hands raised.
I'll move that we did.
Did you have a comment or?
Okay,
but-
I move that we accept the minutes of December 12th.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Two. Okay, the next item is a public appearance. If anyone would like to speak on any subject not on the agenda. I don't see anyone online?
There are no attendees online with their hands raised.
Okay. Let's go fast. All right, so the first public appearance item is to receive the report on the certified local government annual report or 2023-24 annual report.
I'm going to share my screen. Good afternoon, Chair and Commission. My name is Fernanda Roveri, Principal Planner for the City of Monterey. And today I'd like to discuss the Certified Local Government Annual Report from October 2023 to September 2024. I've prepared a presentation for you. So what is CLG? It means Certified Local Government. The CLG program is a preservation partnership between local, state, and federal governments focused on promoting historic preservation at the local level. The program is jointly administered by the National Park Service and the state historic preservation offices in each state, with each local community working through a certification process to become recognized as a CLG. And the city of Monterey went through the certification process to become recognized by the State Office of Historic Preservation. And so we have fulfilled all of the requirements for that. And so we have shown to the State Office of Historic Preservation our commitment to historic preservation. How do you become a certified local government? There are requirements and the more important ones. and the city of Monterey has fulfilled all of them. So one requirement is to maintain a historic preservation commission, which we do, and that is all of you. We also need to enforce our local historic preservation ordinance, which we do. We do that by implementing procedures for reviewing alterations to historic resources, requests for demolition of potentially historic resources, etc. We also maintain a system to survey, inventory historic resources, and those are listed in our historic preservation ordinance. So for example, procedures for surveying a resource, to procedures for adding versus removing a resource from a survey list, and procedures for adding historic overlay zoning to properties to further protect them. And the city also facilitates public participation in local preservation by hosting these HPC meetings, which are open to the public, and by offering the Mills Act program, where a homeowner enters into a contract with the city of Monterey to maintain a historic resource in exchange for property tax savings. What are the benefits of being a CLG? The state gives at least 10% of their federal historic preservation funding to CLGs as subgrants to fund surveys, National Register nominations, training, etc. We also would receive technical assistance from the State Historic Preservation Office staff. Also, studies show that historic districts maintain higher property values, less population decline, more walkability, and greater sense of community. And here on the right side, I'm showing our 2 National Historic Landmark districts. So I wanted to mention some highlights from our CLG report for the reporting period. We are a fully staffed commission of 7 members, and 4 of those are qualified professionals. 3 of them have bachelor's degrees in history, and 1 of them has a bachelor's degree in city planning. During the reporting period of October 23 to September 24, the HPC reviewed historic zoning and Mills Act requests. 875 Spencer Street, 581 Scott Street, and 414 Alvarado Street. And here are the photos so that we can all remember the properties that were rezoned or entered into a Mills Act contract. Some other highlights from the CLG report is all the trainings that our commissioners participated in. Most commissioners had extensive training and in a wide range of topics. And I did a word cloud of all of the trainings that you all reported to me. And the biggest word is lecture. You all attended lectures regarding historic images of the past or the tortilla flats recollections, and I believe some of you watched the movie or some sort of film. Some of you attended field trips to the Baranda Adobe or some other resources in Watsonville. And some of you heard from our library director, Brian Edwards. Also, some of you attended lectures by Dennis Copeland, our former museums director. And so it was really interesting to see all of the various trainings that you all attended. Yeah, and I see here Cannery Road Days and yeah, just various very interesting, some of them very relevant to what we do. Some of you attended a Secretary of the Interior Standards training, which is how we review changes to a historic resource and what criteria needs to be met. So very good. And lastly, at the very end of the report is the State Historic Preservation Office wants to know what are some topics you would like to see covered in the next reporting period. And these are some of staff's answers. We believe that we would like more guidance in applying the criteria for adoption of historic zoning. This is something that our previous commissioner, Dawson, was very interested in. How do we deal with demolition by neglect? Meaning, if you have a potentially historic or a designated historic resource and you don't maintain it, you are basically neglecting it to a point that it's no longer able to be saved, and the only solution would be to demolish. And we're also very interested in learning how do we prevent that from happening. And the last topic that staff came up with, I believe that it would be beneficial for all of us to receive more training on how do we create or how do we approve alterations to historic resources that are sensitive to the historic character of that resource. And lastly, I will open it up to the commission to add any other trainings that you would like to see. And also, so I recommend that you all receive the report that is attached to your packet and make any corrections if required. That concludes the presentation.
Okay, do we have any recommendations of what you'd like to see next year?
I would recommend that we get training on the actual contracts that the homeowners enter into, and then what are the steps, if any, to be able to modify that on behalf of the city, so all future contracts contain and reflect, part of that neglect or consequences for that. And I remember talking, I don't remember who made the presentation, maybe you did, Spencer, about not having the ability to enter into a property even after proper notice if the historic building is being, say, water damage or something, because the city doesn't have that. We can maybe in the contract add something like that to be able to preserve those, because I know we have a lot of absent landlords too in this area. So for emergency situations. So I guess training on contracts to make it simpler. Thank you.
Also, sorry, I believe we have to take public comment before we can continue the discussion. Are there any attendees online?
Should I call for any questions
Did he
from
have
the
questions?
commission first?
I guess
Okay,
questions.
are
yeah.
there any questions without comments for Fernanda? Any questions?
No.
Okay, now we'll call for public comment.
There are no attendees online with their hands raised.
Okay, so we'll close public comments, and I'm writing down these notes, so I definitely took note of what Commissioner Rodriguez just mentioned.
Anything else for next year? I think the demolition by neglect is probably one of my forefront, and I know that you can monitor houses that are under the Mills Act, but how do you handle houses that aren't under the Mills Act? I'd like to know that.
Right now we don't have an inspection program for non-Mills Act properties, so that would be a good topic to cover.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Let's see. Do we need to make a motion to approve the report, or?
There is no motion. It's just to receive it and just acknowledge that you review it. And so the next step is for me to forward it on to the State Office of Historic Preservation by the deadline, which is March 28th.
Were there any corrections that anyone caught? I didn't.
Not
Oh,
online.
there was one on my training where the hours was left blank, and it was a 1 hour. It was the one that we talked about, I can't remember what it was, but It was the one that the library did. So you didn't have the number of hours of that. That was the only thing I caught.
I believe that I didn't include the hours for more than one training I don't think that information was provided. But I think for you, Chair, yeah, it was one training, but I think for others, I did need more information regarding the amount of time of the trainings.
Do you want that sent to you or is it today just
We,
dated?
as long as today or before March 28th.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I had a question. The property on Roosevelt that we delisted is in the meetings, but on your report, item number 2, where it says list any properties that were delisted, it's blank.
Because the reporting period ended September 30th of 2024,
Okay,
anything that happened between then and now would not be reported until the next reporting period.
thank you.
Okay. So are we done with that?
Yes.
Okay. So any commissioner comments? I would like
No.
to make one. I'd like to thank the city for supporting the CEQA training. The first half was very
Mhm.
good. I learned, I knew about CEQA, but I learned a lot more. So that was very good. Thank you. Any other comments from the commissioners?
I have a question regarding that. If we want to get it after the fact, I didn't know that we could watch it online after it had aired, and I'm usually not around on Thursdays. Should we just wait to see if it shows up as a freebie or can
I
we
would go-
register and
I would
watch
suggest you
it?
contact the
CPF.
foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and ask them.
What did they provide a recording?
They provided an email saying that if you couldn't attend in person, that they would provide the registrants a recording that you could watch later. And I did that with the last training we did because I was working. So it was that 3-day training and it worked out great. In fact, you could go back and kind of review things that you missed and
Okay, we can ask if, we paid for Commissioner Rath's recording, if we can share it with another commissioner. I can ask that
Okay,
question.
that would be good. For some reason, I downloaded the Secretary of Interior training and have looked at parts of it. So it's in my computer. I don't know why it's in my computer, but there it is. So good for me.
For what it's worth. For what it's worth, the city also paid for my registration. So, I should be getting a link too, if you want to just say, hey, 2 of us at least paid for it.
Okay, great.
any other comments from the commissioners? Yes, Geraldine?
It's not on the report, it's just,
That's okay. In general,
I happened to see a nice video. And Juan was in it. It was many years ago, and it was about women in Monterey County.
And did you know who presented?
Did,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Meg. Mhm.
Oh,
Mhm. Mhm.
She also that project with Susan Kusmeyer. She's been active over the years in many different ways. And I think that's an especially nice presentation. And I wonder, since it's recorded, and I'm not even sure how I got into it, and something that on that subject, women in history
Mhm.
of Monterey County. Is it accessible? County, how?
Yeah, absolutely. So your county government paid for it. So it should be, I'm concerned that there's a video of me somewhere that I don't know where you saw, but I can certainly go look to see in my files if I can. I remember there's an actual disc of it. So I'm happy to share it. And it was a really nice presentation. She did a presentation on notable women of Monterey County. This must have been in 2016 or 2017. Yeah.
Personally asked her do it again. And she said, oh, she's not really up to date with it, and no. So then I think, well, back to that presentation. It's so good. Would be nice to have it.
I promise I can go check, and I'm happy to make copies. Like I said, it's your city, your county government paid for it, so you're entitled to it.
Put it on YouTube.
My Lord, I don't know where it is, and it's
Yeah.
making me nervous. Did I say anything weird? No, no. Okay, good. Thank you.
Really can't, it was a little while ago, so I don't remember it too much about it, but I thought you might know about it because you were
Mhm.
there at the time.
I'm pretty sure I have it. And Meg used to be the historian for the Ag Commissioner of Monterey County, and she did a really good presentation also too on water, history of water in the county. But I also asked her after we did this one, do you want to do another one? And she said, no, I'm all right. So
They have
yeah,
to share it.
okay.
with a group that would be interested in.
I promise to look for it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Question you didn't anticipate.
No, I'm telling you, I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna Google myself and when I get home. Okay, good. Okay.
It was very, very well, it was professionally done. It was very informative. It was just lovely.
And we did it this month, obviously in 2016 in honor of Women's History. Yeah.
Nice to
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
Any other comments? Commission comments? Nope. And staff report?
Well, we always try to provide a list of local events related to Monterey history or local culture, and Mr. Spencer put it together. And he also provided links so that you can get more information if you click on the link.
Okay. Are we done?
Wow.
I think this is a record. Okay, I am adjourning the Historic Preservation Commission meeting.